Welcome everyone to Toronto, one of the largest city in all of Canada, one of the largest cities in North America, and today we're going to explore this city for the first time on a double-decker bus tour. So we're passing through right now through the city center. We started at Yonge Dundas Square, which is like the Times Square center city. And we're starting the journey now. It's about 2 hours, and we're gonna wiggle our way through Toronto. So on this bus tour, I spent 67 Canadian dollars. This should be about like 52, 53 American dollars. There was no option for a single ride. Sometimes some European cities offer a single ride option, so I had to get the 24-hour pass, which is more than okay. Bit expensive, but I'm excited to see this city all in one go, all the main sites in 1 2-hour trip. This is why I recommend taking a double-decker bus tour. Some cities have multiple companies. This one's city sightseeing, and it's a great way to just get a lay of the land when you're starting your trip in a new place. And Toronto is the fastest growing city in North America, especially with its skyscrapers. It's beating a lot of cities in the US and also cities in Mexico as well when it comes to the sheer amount of high-rise construction. Irene is asking, my first time in Toronto? It is my first time in Toronto. I've been to Canada before, been to Montreal, covered it on video back in 2018, I think it was. And I've been to Quebec City, I've been to Ottawa, I've been to Niagara Falls, well before I ever started making videos, but this is my first time in the great city of Toronto. And I won't be pronouncing the second T, and it's not because I'm mispronouncing it, it's because that's how the Canadians pronounce it. The second T is silent, Toronto, as opposed to Toronto. I arrived just yesterday. This is only a stop for another trip that I'm doing. Stay tuned, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm working with a specific airliner that I already worked with before. They're inviting me again on another trip, Lufthansa. So stay tuned for the next location. We won't be in North America, but I decided to stop over in Toronto and just see the city sights. I'm so excited. And the first impressions I have of the city is that it is a beautiful city. Lots of life on the streets. It has exceeded my expectations thus far. I arrived just yesterday. Yesterday I had the chance to go to Kensington Market, and it was a blast. Here is the Dunkin' Donuts. If you are from the East Coast, you'll know Dunkin' Donuts. This is their version. This is Tim Hortons. They're all around the city. Maurice says it looks clean. Yes. Toronto is not as strikingly clean as many European cities, especially in Central Europe. But it is definitely way cleaner than New York. A little bit cleaner than Los Angeles, and the reason is that this city, unlike New York, actually has alleyways. So a lot of these streets have an alleyway, a backside to them, where they store all the waste, which is not the case in New York, and hence New York, that's why garbage is thrown out in the streets, which really sucks. Now, Toronto is also one of the most diverse cities in the entire world, along with New York, along with London. So here you'll see people from all around the world, food from all around the world. It has a similar vibe to New York in the sense that if you're gonna come out here to eat, it's not just Canadian food. You're not gonna just have poutine or Canadian bacon or pancakes with maple syrup. And I bet there's other great Canadian cuisine. I can't wait to learn more about it. But here's definitely also about eating food from around the world. So you also have casual bites, similar to New York. So there is, for example, naan kebab here, which is Afghani food, which is a bit more rare in New York, actually. Vietnamese food right here. Marie says, how's my French? Parlez-vous un petit français? I don't know say how I speak a little French. Parlez-vous un petit français? I don't need to know French here. This is the English-speaking part of Canada. Julie says it's a very walkable city. I can tell. Surprised to see a strip club here. Maybe this used to be the red light district of the 1970s. So the population, the metropolitan area of Toronto has a population of exceeding 6.5 to 6.7 million people. It is a very big city. It's bigger than cities like Philadelphia. I think it might be bigger than Boston. Out and About says, let me know if you want to meet as I can show you some great restaurants. Hey, Out and About, send me an Instagram DM, Urbanist Live. Out and About says, how long am I here? I'm here only for a half day more. So it is a very, very short trip. I'll explain in a different live video in my next location why I stopped over in Toronto. So stay tuned for live videos this weekend. Welcome, Archer Guru is from Toronto himself. Oh, that's awesome. Hello, Ron. Ron recommends that I go underground. Yeah, I didn't realize the city had such an underground life. So, especially in downtown, there's a huge underground complex, which I do need to check out. PowerPoint says, is this a pre-stop? Yes, it is. This is a stopover. This is a long layover. Irene asks, what is poutine? Poutine is French fries dunked in gravy and cheese curds. Susie says, I hate when movies use Toronto as a placeholder for New York. Yeah, Toronto rarely plays itself. One of my favorite movies where Toronto is actually the location of a movie is the movie What If, starring Daniel Radcliffe, Zoe Kazan, and Adam Driver. I really love that movie. Highly recommend it if you want to see a good Toronto movie. But Toronto usually is New York, fake New York. Ludo says, is this a business or a pleasure trip? Basically, all my trips are for making content, but this is indeed a business trip. It is indeed a paid trip. But stay tuned. Next stop, you'll learn why. Next stop meaning you'll learn why. What's today? Today is Wednesday? You'll learn Friday. Stay tuned on Friday. So I love the mixture of these older buildings because Toronto definitely has a history of about 100 years more being a city. And you see these older buildings, but huge skyscrapers right on top of them. A combination you see a bit more rarely in New York. PowerPoint says, I like that you're doing this, give me an idea for the trip. Man, my pleasure, my pleasure. So right now we're doing a 2-hour sightseeing tour, city sightseeing tour, double-decker bus. There is no live guide. Live guides are now increasingly rare when it comes to these bus tours in many cities across the world. The few cities that still have live guides is like Boston, had some amazing ones. That's it so far. Northern Ireland had one as well. But it cost me 67 Canadian dollars. Canada has its own currency. The currency, it being the Canadian dollar. They call it $8. It is different from the US dollar. The US dollar is valued a little bit higher. So 67 Canadian dollars is about, I would say, about 52, 53 US dollars I spent on a 24-hour bus pass on this double-decker bus. Taxis right now, yesterday I took a few taxis that were about 20-minute ride each, and they cost me about $6 to $15 US, so it wasn't expensive, pretty cheap compared to New York. And I'm really liking the city. My first impressions is it's a great city. Marie says, how are you coping with the metric system? I'm coping. Joe, welcome to the live video. Joe's asking, did I drive or fly over here? I flew over here because I am working with Lufthansa Airlines again, and you'll find out why I flew over here in my live video on Friday and the destination I end up going to in collaboration with them. Ludo, thank you so much for a 10 euro super chat. I appreciate that. Have a drink on me, man. I definitely will. I'll have a very good coffee over here and a nice Canadian treat. Ooh, so here's the high-end area. Christian Louboutin. Wow, this is nice. So this is why I really like about Toronto is that you have kind of this modern elegance that you do have in New York, like the Upper East Side, but here in Toronto it feels more homey due to the trees, the wideness of the streets with a lot of outdoor dining, the combination of commercial and residential space in one building. It's like Toronto feels to me as a combination between, like if you were to mush up elements of New York with elements of Boston, because all Boston is a pretty unique city in its own regard, and elements of Paris. So Ron asks, have I ridden the streetcar? No, have not yet. I do want to. I love that there's light rail in the middle of the city. It's very nice. I really want New York to have light rail, so I can't wait to ride it. Ooh, here's I think the museum. Wow, look how gorgeous this is. Awesome combination of classic, neoclassical with very modern. Lots of bike infrastructure here as well, way better than New York. You have a separation between the cars and the street. I mean the bicycles and the cars, which is great. Jake, the tour is 2 hours in total. Right now we are 20 minutes in. So we're in for a ride. A good hour and 40 minutes. And no traffic so far, so I think it'll be a smooth ride. Out and About says that was the Royal Ontario Museum. Thank you so much. So this is my first time in Toronto. I didn't have too much time to research the city. And I'm sure there's a lot of cool history and other awesome things to know about it. So if you see any spots that you recognize, do let us know in the comments. Thank you, Out and About, for mentioning them so far. Quad Mod says, I've been here my entire life, but never been on one of these buses. So cheers for the experience. Yeah, you know, if you're local, it's a very little reason to go on these buses, but I think especially if you're a tourist, it is awesome. If you're local, it is awesome taking these buses. Do it with a friend or family member who's not from the city. And I think you'll see the city through new eyes. Ooh, what is this? Gorgeous. Historic building, wow. Here's the subway system of Toronto. So welcome Kay, welcome Susie, welcome Mika, welcome Joe, Out and Out, Funky Child. Says notice they have a lot of TD banks like in New York. That's because TD stands for Toronto Dominion. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you so much. I didn't know TD Bank was a Canadian bank. That's interesting to hear. Robert is also from Toronto. Wow, we got a lot of Torontonians. How do you say Torontians? We got a lot of people tuning in from the city. That's awesome. So Funky Child says it's Torontonians. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful area. Appears to be like the university area. So a lot of Toronto to me feels like Miami as well, even more so than New York, because you have these wide streets, but you still have a lot of low-rise buildings, businesses down below. And it's a bit more kind of sprawling. Hey, Maureen with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Maureen. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you for sponsoring this bus ticket ride. I appreciate that. Annabelle says, now we are on DuPont Street. Oh, cool. Now we're going to Spadina Road. To Casa Loma and Spadina Museum. Ooh, there's a castle in Toronto? What? I didn't know Toronto was so regal. There is an audio tour. All right, seems like everyone, a lot of people are left over to the castle. That's so cool that there's a castle here. You're experiencing Toronto for the first time, like I am, if you're not from here, if you haven't been here. And let me know if you visited Toronto, what was your favorite things to see? Now we're seeing the CN Tower in the distance. Through the apartment construction here. Well, the star of the Toronto skyline. Joe says, whatever you do, don't stand. And Susie says, no quiet, no emergency sirens. Yeah, Toronto's way quieter. I think this is a live guide. I might have been mistaken. I thought this was a... Yeah, it is a live guide. Oh, wow. This is rare nowadays. Okay, I was mistaken. I assumed that there was no live guide, but there is. The woman in the front is indeed touring around. You just have to use headphones to listen to it. Funky Child says, cool thing to do in Toronto is eat roti, doubles, which is Guyanese and Trinidadian, and a mango drink. Ooh, I recommend Island Foods on 7 Gladstone near Queen Street. All right, Island Foods. I'll keep that in mind. I could use some good roti. Robert, thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone, let me know where you're watching from. Ludo says that's great. Sharon says Casa Loma is also wonderful to visit. Ooh, good to know. Susan loves the Toronto Zoo. Ooh, that sounds cool. It's the largest one in Canada. On the bus says, are you planning to get off? No, I'm doing the full ride. I'm doing that on purpose, like I do in all my other trips, is to get a full view of the city, full lay of the land. And it's very, very powerful, I think, to just do the trip in one go. I would not recommend the double-decker bus tour for transportation. I would say only do it to do the initial tour so you see the full city, the touristy parts of the city, all in one go so you know where to go afterwards, and then just use Uber or the local public transportation and you're set. Alright, that was a close one.
Hablando del grafiti que estaba allá atrás, lo pintó un artista que es nativo y que representa su historia y
Here's the subway system
muchos detalles, pero
on the one line. Hey man, the Explorers is tuning in, man. Hope you're doing well. Oh, beautiful homes, wow. Great design here in Toronto. I love the architecture. It's very eclectic as opposed to New York, where we have neighborhoods that have a lot of same architecture, which is the beauty of like brownstone New York or the townhouses of the Upper East Side. But here I like the eclecticness. PowerPoint is planning to start streaming soon. Hey man, yeah. Streaming is a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it all goes well. Susie says Steven Spielberg lives in Toronto. Ooh, he does? Oh my god, I gotta hang out with him. Alright, time to have some lunch with Steven after this. A few people are recommending Toronto Island. Ooh, alright. And here is that famous building from the Drake cover. This is the CN Tower, one of the more iconic sites of all Toronto. Basically the centerpiece of the skyline. Like Empire State Building is for New York, or the Eiffel Tower is for Paris. The CN Tower is the case for Toronto. Daryl says, have you heard of Johnny Strands? I've heard of him. I haven't really watched his stuff, but I've heard of him. Annabelle says that was the shoe museum. Man, that really intrigues me. I often don't go to museums when it comes to visiting cities nowadays because a lot of the museums are very similar to each other. Also, I'd rather be outside, but I love going to like very unique specialty museums, and that one sounds actually really cool.
Dice que es la mejor universidad pública. Mira, dice que esta parte se supone que se iba a parecer a un pavo real, pero en segundo se parece. Dice que solo parece un pavo. Se lo dijo.
Archer Guru says the food trucks at the University of Toronto, where we're located right now, are legendary. Really? You know, would not have been my immediate impression that the food trucks here would be necessarily good, because in American cities, the food trucks are, you know, kind of just serving lunch. It's not really anything special, but that's good to know. Gary says, have I seen the banknotes yet featuring the King of England? No, not yet. I have not taken out cash. I'm here for such a short period of time, and everything is payable by credit card, so I'm not using cash here. Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. All right, I didn't want to make too much of a scene, but thank you so much for saying hello, man. I appreciate it. So shout out to the person who said hi from Toronto. Let me know who you are in the comments. Thank you so much for saying hi.
ser una galería de arte de...
So here we arrived to the Chinatown area, right by Kensington Market as well. This is the Art Museum of Toronto. Hey, it's your name here. Hey, man, thank you so much for saying hi. Sorry, I couldn't give a more enthusiastic response. You caught me off guard, but man, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for saying hi. Neil Grove says it does not look any different from any other city in the States. There are a few discernible differences. In the States you don't have too much of this combination of older architecture from 70, 80, 90 years plus, right next to very modern high-rises and modern architecture. They're usually kind of divided in America, so the historic districts are kind of on their own, and then you have the modern downtown areas in most U.S. cities. And I think this in combination with the bike paths and with the combination of other things like the light rail system, it makes Toronto look more unique compared to American cities. On the bus says this is the AGO, the Art Gallery of Ontario. Ethan says, have I been to the Niagara Falls when I was little? Maybe when I was like 11 years old. So a while back. I haven't been to Niagara Falls. No plans for Niagara Falls this time around. And most of the high-rises now in Toronto are dedicated to residential, which is not the case yet in Manhattan. Most of Manhattan skyscrapers are indeed still offices. That's changing though. I'm sure Guru recommends a craft beer. Oh, is there one particular brand I should try? Glenny says, I'm in your city. Hey, Glenny, I'm happy to be in Toronto. Thanks for the warm welcome. So we're here at the art gallery stop. All right, we have about 1 hour and 15 minutes left of this bus tour. I don't know anything about Toronto. I know a little bit about the elements of urban design here. That's why I'm pointing them out. So if you have any questions about travel, feel free to ask. This is only a very long layover before I go to a new city over in Europe in partnership with Lufthansa. And on Friday, you'll see that new city, that other city, and then you'll see why I had to do this long layover. I'll explain why. And then and my first impressions of Toronto, I mentioned a few times, is really positive. I think this is a very interesting city. It's a city not with many landmarks, so there's not that many things to see, but has a great vibe, lots of life, especially in the summertime. So I think this is a great city to visit for eating out, for exploring, for walking. It has a lot to offer. Here are the overhead lines for the light rails. Susie's asks, how long was my flight? My flight was supposed to be an hour from JFK Airport over to Toronto Airport. Because of the massive rainstorm, my flight of 1 hour turned into 5 hours. So yesterday, I lost almost all day yesterday. And then getting from the airport of Toronto to downtown, it's a long train ride. They say it's 20 minutes, it ends up being more like an hour, nearly. So it took me a while to get here. So I basically was unable to really sightsee yesterday. So Funky Child says that Toronto has very similar architecture to Chicago. Yes, I can see that. Not the historic skyscrapers. So Toronto doesn't have too many historic skyscrapers from the 30s and 40s, but for modern architecture, I can see the similarity with Chicago for sure. Let me know, do you think New York should have trams like they do here in Toronto? Nat is watching from Bangkok. Oh man, another city I hope to visit in the near future. Toronto, to me this city is what Miami will probably look like very soon. Miami will probably look very similar to Toronto in like 2 or 3 years. This is a city that I think if Puerto Rico, Atole, which is like the very urban area of Puerto Rico, and San Juan will grow and become more dense. That's how Atole I think would look like if there was more development, which I think it's bound to happen. What is this over here? A lot of food stalls here. This definitely strikes me as a foodie city with the variety of foods here. And there's food stalls everywhere and a lot of tiny little restaurants and food from all around the world. Here we got food trucks. Shiv, thank you so much for tuning in. Shiv is also another Torontonian. Oh man, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the City Hall of Toronto. Ooh. And right here we have also the famous letters of Toronto that people take photos in. Looks like the UN building, says Maurice. It does. I wonder if it's the same architect because it looks very, very similar. Let me know your food recommendations. If I can find something interesting, I'll show it, definitely. Marianne, hope you're doing well. Marianne says, I always stay here at the Sheraton. Ah, good choice. Seems to be a beautiful area to stay. Farstorm says, I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of hungry too. What should I eat? Oh, someone already recommended roti, which sounds awesome, actually. Nomades, bienvenidos. A todo el mundo viendo en español, estamos ahora en la ciudad de Toronto, aquí en Canadá, la ciudad más grande de Canadá, uno de los países que está en Norteamérica y es una de las ciudades más grandes de Norteamérica con una población de 6.7 millones de personas, una población metropolitana, y a mí me encanta la ciudad. Por ahora es bien bonito, hay mucha vida en las calles, mucha comida por todo el mundo y me encanta la arquitectura, la combinación de moderno con clásico es bellísimo. So I'm really loving Toronto and it's a great city. Ebrin says, I'm in your hood today. Hello, Ebrin. Noah says, slamming that like button. Thank you so much. Dopey recommends I eat Italian food. Ooh, I'm going to need some restaurant recommendations. Eileen says, Toronto is gentle on the eyes due to the lack of advertising on the walls. Yes, not that much advertising. And one thing you'll notice is, listen, it's definitely noisier than most of the historic European cities, but definitely a lot less noisy than New York. So that's quite a difference. or like Seattle, or a few other cities like Chicago as well. It's pretty noisy. There is a bike share system here in Toronto as well, which is great. Lots of cool bike infrastructure here. It's nice to see a city taking its urban updating very seriously. Joe says, do you need a passport to get into Canada? If you are not a Canadian citizen, yep, you do. You need a passport to get into Canada if you are not a Canadian citizen. If you're an American citizen, yes, it requires a passport. And you do have to go through passport control. Passport control in the Toronto airport was fairly long. It took like a good 30 minutes to do passport control. Not intense, they didn't ask me any questions, but the line was long. And then to get from the airport to downtown, I took a train. There's a rail line called the Union Piercing Express, UP for short. And it cost me $12 something, 12 Canadian dollars to get there. And it's supposed to take about like 25 minutes, I think, but it took more, like closer to an hour. There might have been some kind of delays. It was going very, very slow. And let me know if you have any other questions about Toronto so far. How much does it cost to do this tour? 67 Canadian dollars it cost me to do a 24-hour bus pass. There was not an option for a single ride, which some European cities, for example, do offer. Dopey says, I'm in northwestern Ontario, Canada, and it's mostly bush up here. Oh, wow. Great hunting and fishing. Ooh, that sounds good. What will you eat tonight, says Daniel. Well, hoping something good. I have no doubt I'll find some amazing food. Yesterday I ate an amazing burger. I'll show you what I ate yesterday. I went to Kensington Market. So I went to Kensington Market and went to this amazing place called Aussie's. And this burger cost me, it was 33 Canadian dollars for the burger, the fries, and 2 sparkling waters. Canadian dollars, so it amounted to more like 23, a little bit more, 24 US dollars. Good price for a huge chunk of burger. Look at that burger. Burger was amazing. The fries were amazing as well. Aussie's, O-Z-Z-Y-S. And then I also had an amazing juice from a place called the Organic Press called Melon Head, and it blew me away. And this was 12 Canadian dollars. So I would say maybe like 9 something US dollars. Really, really great food yesterday. So I was really impressed by that burger and that juice. Tonight I might have some ethnic food. Some Afghani, maybe some Italian. Maybe both. Brown Eyed Girl says, good afternoon. Hey, Brown Eyed Girl, hope you're doing well. Out and about says, do you buy any souvenirs? I do sometimes. I always buy postcards for sure and send them to Mega Urbanist. Neville, thank you so much for tuning in. Dwayne says there's a big music scene in Toronto, like a big film and TV scene. Yeah, the Toronto Film Festival is here, one of the larger film festivals in North America. And yeah, you can imagine comedians always stop here on their tours. There's musical theater. Hey, Brown Eyed Girl says you spoke to a music Greek producer. Hey, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for spreading the word. I appreciate that, Brown Eyed Girl. Darlene says, I just subscribed. Oh, yeah, that's what happened yesterday in the storm. Turbo says, check out the cannabis shops. I'm glad they have them. Is it legal here for anyone to buy, or do you have to have a license or prescription? Let me know. I saw also that there was mushroom dispensaries. I'm not sure if they're selling real mushrooms. I found that very interesting because the only other place I saw that in the world has been Amsterdam so far. Joe says, and it's legal for anyone over 19. Oh, interesting. All right, now we're entering downtown, and we're gonna get closer to the CN Tower. Joe says cannabis is fully legal, 19 or over. No license, no prescription required. But the mushroom shops are legal, gray area. Ah, fascinating. That's exactly what I need, a second cup of coffee. Whoa. Oh my God. The building that Drake made famous. I'm just joking. Drake did not make this famous. This is way famous way before Drake. So right now we are in John Street, traveling south. Thank you so much. Out and about. Appreciate that. Robert says this is the tallest building in North America. Really? It's the tallest structure in North America? The CN Tower? Still higher than the Freedom Tower? I mean, it certainly does look tall. Jared says this thing looks cool up close. It does. Yeah, I mean, the architecture is very unique. All right, this is what I'm going to do a little bit later. Hang off from the CN Tower. Jay says it's very similar to Seattle. Yes, it is, but the Seattle one's smaller. Hebron says it's the tallest freestanding tower, not skyscraper, in North America. Ah, thank you.
You're going to come right behind me?
So out and about, leaving some extra information. Thank you so much. He says that the CN Tower was finished on April 2nd, 1975, opening to the public on June 26, 1976. And it's at 553 meters, which is 1,815 feet. Oh, that makes it taller than the One World Trade Center. And taller than the Central Park Tower. Yeah, so this is taller than New York City skyscrapers. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't realize that. It doesn't even look that tall, but it's so skinny. Oh, that's crazy. Robert says it's taller than any skyscraper in North America. Wow. So why doesn't Toronto build a skyscraper taller than One World Trade Center in New York City? They should just go for it. Glennie says, did you see the dog fountain yet? No, not yet. Maurice says they won't build taller to not make Americans too jealous. Yeah, I can imagine. Joe's asking where I'm staying. Oh, Joe, you will find out. I'll be posting a video of it, a short video. Very tempted to post a longer video on it, but stay tuned. Maybe you'll see a breakfast video. So the bus kind of just lingers here. I think they just wait for people to come on. So it's done that in a few stops. Maybe we're a bit ahead of time because there's almost no traffic. So that's what's happening. Marit says, what time is it right now? Oh, I don't know. I lost track of time. And is it my first time in Toronto? Yes, first time in Toronto, but not in Canada. Right now it's 1:57 p.m. Eastern time here in Toronto. Marie says I can't send a super chat. Oh no, why not, Marie? I appreciate you wanting to. Thank you. All right, people from Toronto, let me also know what is the best coffee here in this city. I'm so curious. Yeah, a very good cup of coffee. Let me know the best of the best in Toronto. I'm so curious. That's what I'm gonna go for right after this bus ride. And then let me know what are the best sights to see. Should I go up to the CN Tower? Is it worth it? I wonder if it's open until later at night. Because I might be tempted to go at night as well. And Marie says, are we in the same time zone as New York City? We are indeed in the same time zone as New York City, yes. Eastern time. All right. Ooh. Hopefully the bus keeps on going. I really want to see more of Toronto. Let me know, should I go to the islands as well? Is it worth it? Everett says it's worth it. Ooh, all right. Susie says, sounds like you desperately need coffee. Yeah, yesterday was such a long travel day. I slept well, but I don't know, I feel a bit tired. I think it's all the clouds and yeah. I just need coffee. a few gallons of coffee, please. It's like nice and cool weather. This is like perfect like napping weather. Oh, someone started complaining about the prices. And the guy's like, inflation everywhere. It is a bit too expensive. It's a bit too expensive. 67 Canadian dollars is way too much. So I'm sure Guru's recommending Balzac coffee or Red Rocket coffee. Ooh, cool. Tenzin is recommending Tim Hortons. Joe says for sure not Tim Hortons. Neville says the best coffee in Toronto is Jet Fuel Coffee in Cabbagetown, but there are other independent coffee shops just as good. Jet Fuel Coffee in Cabbagetown. Marie says, sorry Ariel, messed up your day. No worries. Yes, it's Ariel. Make a reservation to get up to the 360 experience of the CN Tower. Okay. George Schaefer says there's a Flatiron type building near east of here, and there's Casa Loma's a short distance off the subway, and the waterfront boat tour might be worth checking out. Ooh, I'm very tempted to do a waterfront boat tour. Hopefully while I'm on it, there's not a massive superstorm like there was 2 days ago that will consume the boat in a massive water cyclone that will veer us far off course and I'll end up down in Detroit. Hopefully that won't happen. So yeah, boat tour sounds like fun. Brown Eyed Girl says, I love the Canadian folks, such lovely people. Jay says, run, buy a coffee on the street. This is like that Seinfeld episode. There's this episode on Seinfeld where Kramer and Elaine are on the train. I think it was Elaine. Kramer and Elaine are on the train, and they stop at Queensboro Plaza on the E line, I think. And Kramer says, "Oh my God, one of the best gyros is just like right here, right by the train station. I'm gonna go very fast and come back to buy one. You want one?" And he goes and runs as fast as he could to grab the gyros. And as he's coming in, the doors close. The only thing that fits is his hand holding the two gyros, and they close on him, so he has to let go of the gyros. And the random New Yorker just like snatches the gyros, and Kramer gets stuck banging on the door. He's like, "Oh no!" Elaine is sad. There's no gyros for her, and just a random New Yorker just starts eating on the gyro. So I could pull a Kramer and run for the coffee shop, make a run for it, and come back here just in time. Let me know. Okay, will I make it? Will I make it? I mean, they seem, if they onboard this couple, might take it might add me like 3 whole minutes. Oh no, they're not buying a ticket. Oh no, never mind. I don't have 3 minutes. I could have bought, this stop is so long, I could have bought coffee, I could have eaten lunch, I could have gone up to the CN Tower, see the views of Toronto, done the parachute thingy, the hanging off the CN Tower ride thingy, and then I could have made a debt back down and back on the bus by now. Like, totally could have done that. Ethan says, I can't wait for you to go back to Europe. Joe says, remember, Kramer also spilled coffee in the movie theater. He won his lawsuit. Yeah, indeed. Lifetime supply of lattes. Hey, Brown Eyed Girl says, will you be able to hit up Kensington Market? Yeah, if I have time, I would love to show a stream there. Later in the day, it kind of dies down. Kensington Market is more of a day thing, so maybe tomorrow. Stay tuned. Well, someone on the bus actually went over to get coffee. But I will wait for a very good cup of coffee because I don't need any cup of coffee right now. I need the best of the best. Brown Eyed Girl says, what I would do for a good poutine. Ooh, I would love a good poutine.
sí lo dijo. Rápido, que estoy a punto de bajar.
Le puedes preguntar a la señorita Dari. Ay, no, ya déjenlas tranquilas, por favor. Eso, pero es que aquí dicen en la parada, es hasta la
Ocho Guru recommends La Palette, good French restaurant near Kensington. Ah, thank you.
Está rico, ¿no? Pablo.
Otra guagua.
Otra. Lugar. Esta una María. No puede. Mira cómo
Ah.
lo hago. No, no me puedo poner nada los piernas, yo puedo automáticamente caer ahí. No, no
All right, finally.
Antonella, ya. Deja de chillar. Ya no más. Pablo, Antonella, siéntate porque si no.
Grand News says, what's your impression of Canadian cities? I really like Montreal. So Montreal is a city I've enjoyed going a few times already. Canadian cities to me feel a bit more walkable and lively than most American cities, aside from New York, Boston, and Chicago. So I really do enjoy Montreal and Toronto so far. And finally, we are off. So here is the Union Station. It's cool. We can see the reflection of the CN Tower right here.
siéntate, Pablo. Oscar, cuidado, Oscar. Let's go.
A ver, bueno. Encontrar. Ardillita, cómetelo. Oh, ay, te lo vi. En la próxima parada te lo doy. Oh, te lo doy.
No, señor, no, señor.
Está el semáforo
Pablo.
rojo, ¿puedo ir?
Pablo, Pablo.
No es un Lambo. Es un Lambo.
Acá. No, donde aquí, exacto. Adelante. Anto, coge tu saco. Vamos. Aldo, por acá.
No vayas a cruzar la calle así.
Aldo, nos espera.
Ahí hay una cosa para echarle, ¿no?
Yeah, I'm getting off. Yeah.
Oh my god, okay. Sorry, I guess, I don't know. Everyone's last second decisions. Okay.
Okay. So that was the city sightseeing tour. 67 Canadian dollars. So quite a bit of money. And for one trip, you know, if you have the budget, then it is a nice way to see the city quickly. But I would not recommend these double-decker bus tours for transportation. As you can see, they can be rather long. I'm not sure how long they'll stay at the stop at this point, so be sure to allot a little bit more than 2 hours. So they tell you 2 hours, allot about 2.5 to 3 hours maximum if you want to do the full tour. Do it when it's not so hot earlier in the day. Or in some cities, do the night tour. Night tours usually are the best in some cities because it is later when temperatures are down, less traffic. But I recommend if you do the bus tours, do it your first day here. I have family members and I have a few friends that weirdly pick the bus tour for their last day. I have no idea why they do that. It's the best thing to do in your first day. The reason for that is as you see now, we pretty much got a full idea of Toronto. I got off a little bit earlier because right now the bus is basically going back to downtown where I started. So the bus tour was basically 2 stops away from it being over. But let me see where the ferry is. And right now we are at, this is Lake Ontario, right? Let me know if this is Lake Ontario. I'm glad I came here. But where is the ferry? Susie says Ariel had enough. Yeah, I had enough. Some cities, the bus tour can be extremely exciting, like Rome, London for sure. I think if I go this way, this music here got me for a bit. Okay, good. So yeah, I had enough. Some cities, the bus tour can be extremely exciting. Rome, Sweden for sure, Stockholm. The bus tour was amazing because you did see a really such beautiful places, beautiful historic architecture, the waterways and the islands. That's another great example. And then you have other ones that are a bit more boring, like Amsterdam, because it goes around Amsterdam. It doesn't go into Amsterdam, of course, naturally due to the nature of the city. So it's not as interesting. And there's other gems like Boston, because Boston has so much history concentrated within the city that those bus tours are always a blast. So it really does depend on the city. But at this point, after seeing it for an hour and 40 minutes, I felt like I got the gist of Toronto, and we were only 2 stops away from the end. And then there was that really rowdy group of kids in the front. It's so amusing that kids can't really stay still when it comes to a bus tour like these. But let me see if I can find the ferry stop, and let me know, is there anything to do here in the waterfront? It's not as lively because the waterfront's pretty disconnected from the rest of the city due to the highways right over here, which don't make them so attractive, and there's barely businesses here, which is a shame. A lot of cities in the US and in Canada are disconnected from their waterfronts due to highways usually being built right by the water, hence causing a separation. And a lot of these waterfronts are more functional than places to hang. That's changing in Manhattan, that's changing in Brooklyn for sure, but it's still the case like in Seattle. Chicago still feels pretty separate from the city as well. And then Shiv says, go the opposite direction for the ferry. Belfast was the extreme one. One bus tour in Greece where the bus driver took him to his house to hang out. Joe, hey, what are you referring to? What are you referring to? The Crete bus tour was magical because we saw some beautiful mountain. We went up basically a mountain on bus. That was just mind-blowing. And that was Hania, Crete. Look at CN Tower. To your right is east. So I guess it's this way? Susie says I should just rent a speedboat. Maybe I should. Apparently there's a boat rental company here. Apparently it's easier to rent a boat here in Canada, in Toronto. Mika says the bus tour in Nice. Oh my God, the bus tour in Nice, another great one. Wow, I've done a lot of bus tours, so it's cool that a lot of people remember them. But yeah, that bus tour in Nice was just some of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen via a bus tour, because we were all along the coast of the south of France, seeing these amazing views, and we went up pretty high, nearly 1,000 feet high, I think the bus ended up driving. And yeah, just mind-blowing. All right, this is a bit sleepy. There's not much here going on. Hello, hello. Is anyone out there? Out there? Is there coffee in the Toronto Islands? I know 600 people live there, and there's like a beautiful park. Robert says, not sure how exciting the ferry will be. Yeah, I don't think so, because I think the ferry would just go to the islands, which is like only 10 minutes away. Ludo says, can you go up the CN Tower? I'm tempted. Yeah, I'm very tempted. Nouvelle says it's more livelier at night or on the weekends. Ah, all right. That's good to hear. Ooh, boats. We got water taxis. Ferry terminals in the direction you're going now. There's even beer on the island? What? There's beer on the island? Oh my God. You can go for a gigantic beer. And Nibul says the bus in Nice is nice. Yes, indeed it is. We got Harbor Star tours. Oh, cool. And here are the islands. How many islands are they? I think I heard the number 9. If anyone knows exactly, do let me know. Armchair says I should go to the center island. Ah, all right. Hey, Wendy's tuning in on Twitch for some reason, not sure why. Ron says swimming might be faster. Yeah, I don't see any ferries here. There's a boat there going at a snail's pace. It's a boat tour. That seems like fun. Out and About says, you need to save your things for the next visit. Out and About challenge accepted. All right, I'm going to do all the things today. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely won't be able to do everything. Isabel says, I'm trying to count the islands right now on Google Maps. There are 3 main islands. Wards is residential. Ah, fascinating. Annabelle says this isn't the ferry terminal. Ah, all right. So maybe we'll find it one day. There's a bunch of harbor tours, which is nice. There's a mangolada. Oh, that's nice. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'll have a mango please.
Mangonada?
Yeah.
You want to do medium or large?
Medium.
Medium. Alright, it's gonna be 10.17. Oh, we're only taking credit. Is that okay?
Credit? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Alright. You wanna get the toppings on it or just the mango smoothie?
Sorry, what?
You wanna get the toppings on it or just the mango smoothie?
Just the alone. Yeah.
Alright, gotcha. You want me to put some mango chops on top?
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna give you a bigger one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Have a welcome.
Have a great day.
You as well, man.
So I got mango nada. Cool. All right, this is like a little mango drink for $9 Canadian. Ooh, with some frozen mango on top. Oh, that's nice. It's nice. It's a bit watery, but it's refreshing. Could use more mango, for sure. All right. Yeah. Hey, how long does this one depart?
1 hour.
Oh, when does it depart?
Oh, this one is leaving now.
Right now? Okay.
Yeah,
I think
right
I might.
now. Yeah,
maybe
you
I
can't,
might.
you can't go on this one, the next one.
I have to wait till the next one.
Yeah, the next
Okay.
one is at 3:30.
3:30. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. No worries. So, this one, the next one's departing at 3:30. It's a 60-minute tour. They charge 33 Canadian dollars. That's cool. It's operated by Hornblower. I like that company. They operate the New York City ferry system currently. I wish I had enough time. That mango nada distracted me. Toronto says better to do the giant ferry at the ferry dock. You're pretty close. Keep walking the same direction, aligned with the lakeshore. Ah, okay. Hey, look, a water taxi. Joe says I'm sending his yacht over here. Joe, thank you. I appreciate that. I could use a nice yacht. Maybe mosey my way over to Buffalo, New York. Ron says, I hear Filipino nearby, Tagalog. Yeah. I bet there's some good pancit here in Toronto. Ah, it's more lively here. Ah, so I think we are approaching the ferry terminal. Is this? Irene says the helicopter is picking you up. I told him to wait a little bit later. And at night, I think it'll be a bit more scenic. Take the helicopter ride. Joe says my yacht is allergic to buffalo. Oh no. Ooh, here's beaver tails. Apparently it's a Canadian fast food.
Yeah, Central Island or like any of these three locations. Like this is Central Island, Wharf, and
Okay, so a lot of different options here. There's a water taxi, which is nice. I shall depart from, not deport, hopefully not deport, depart from all of you here. We did the bus ride journey through Toronto's main areas that you would visit as a tourist. And then here we can go over to the islands. There seems to be a few options, which is nice. And then let me know in the comments below, what do you recommend to eat and see in Toronto? I'm gonna find myself some coffee, and then you might see another live stream later tonight or tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and then definitely stay tuned on Friday, European time, because I'll be back in Europe. Stay tuned, you'll find out where I'll be at. I'm gonna show you at least one new place It's gonna be a very short trip in Europe, but I'll show you at least one new place in Europe. And I'm so excited to do that. All right, everyone. Have a great day, everyone. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.